Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 426. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going? It's time for Plátano and whiskey power, son.
That's scary.
We got Carlos Romero in the house.
Yo, yo, yo.
Adam Vale.
Hey, happy birthday, everybody.
Brett Murdoch.
What's up, people?
And Brian Manjoma.
Happy birthday to the Steam Deck.
Yes, that did celebrate his birthday.
They had a big update today, too.
Yeah, and isn't it on
ray
sale,
tracing.
too, for the first time?
Yeah, they put a sale. There's a sale going on.
Yeah.
But
Way
before the Wii did a
twisting.
sale. But
Yeah.
before the Switch did a sale, right?
Yeah, well, the Switch is never going to go on sale. But by the way, no Chris action. He needs to recoup. He needs to initiate the Odin sleep. So yeah, shout out to Chris.
Yo, by the way, Steam sale, Tony, Gotham Knights, $23.99.
Oh, let's fucking go.
See, but that's the
Game
thing.
of
though,
the
because
year,
like,
game of the year.
you see, well, if you that was part of that big the relief sale. That was $30. You got 72 games. That was one of them. That's when I got that. Whole
That
thing turned
bullshit.
cheap. Yeah,
Well, but I mean, you're not. You got probably everyone here owns this game, or at least most of us. But Red Dead is $19. That's a bargain.
yeah.
Red Dead 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, there was a bunch of games going on sale. I saw fucking Forspoken went on sale.
Oh,
Well, Floor Kids is on
bullshit,
sale. For those who like breakdancing, it's a breakdancing game.
Yeah.
Awesome game.
you know why?
Better way. All right. What's
Speaking
up?
controllers, I hear that clickety
I hear that
clack.
clickety clack. Who playing?
Is that Brett?
Probably,
No,
probably Adam
I'm
doing
doing
the
the WWE 2K because I gotta
okay, there
do
you
this
go.
review thing. So
I mean, yeah, but I'm more on the DL than Adam is.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Brett
it's
knows
a button
how to
mashing
do it,
game.
man.
Adam's like button mashing like right next to the
gotta-
microphone.
You playing Street Fighter and shit,
Oh, my son got good at it though. We've been playing on the Steam Deck Street Fighter 5 and been teaching him how to do the moves and stuff, and he's getting the hang of it. He likes it. So if I get him on the fight stick,
Yeah, I hear that clicking.
oh, that's not
Yeah,
me.
it's just using my controller.
Man, I still remember before we start, growing up, like I would always play Street Fighter with my cousin, whipping his ass every single time and stuff. So when we're playing Street Fighter 4 and he started like consistently beating me after 3 rounds, he just got up, yeah, I finally got you, motherfucker. He was happy as fuck, man. And then, I had to save my own ego, so we put in Street Fighter Alpha, I whip his ass, and it was all right,
Oh,
Because, listen, the new
You like
Street
still
Fighter,
got it.
Yeah, I still got it, motherfucker. Oh, man. Anyway, let's get into it, man. Some dumb news is going around. Actually, most of this stuff is new to me since I've been so busy with fucking work, I haven't seen most of this stuff. So I'm looking at it now, and my head hurts with this first one.
oh.
What they do, Ray?
All right. So Mr. Tom Henderson, who's like a industry kind of insider / embargo breaker. Not to talk shit, but just saying. So his sources are telling him something we've actually talked about before, which I still think is a bad idea. But let's get into it. Insider Gaming, that's the site he writes for. They've confirmed that the PS5 Pro is in development and could release with a tentative release date of 2024.
I, for one, cannot wait to play my PS4 games in super high fidelity.
Yeah. And Brett, if I don't remember if you remember, like you and I actually had a big debate about this. Because, like, I said this was a bad idea because you can't even get PlayStations. You said it's a good idea. Although things are different now because you can buy a PlayStation. So that makes this even more stupid to me.
I thought I said it was dumb, and that they probably were going to release this before they even started actually releasing PS5 games. And if they did, I was going to be super pissed.
But I know you and I were arguing about something because I said it didn't make any sense to me. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But my sticking point was, okay, if we have this chip shortage, how are you going to get more chips to build more systems? But it's moot now because we have enough chips to get systems. So I guess it
They're
doesn't matter
building
anymore.
factories now in the United States.
Yeah. So that's kind of moot. But Brett, I still think you and I agree that this is a stupid idea, regardless. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't like this idea of mid-gen refreshes really for the most part at all, because it just blurs the line between generations. But
You're right.
especially the idea of like, hey, we have a more powerful PlayStation 5 that can handle those big, heavy-hitting PlayStation 4 titles that we're giving you. Like, it's...
Yeah.
All right. I can't tell if you're an idiot or if you think I'm an idiot.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, you're gonna. Let me go back because I got to set this up, right? Okay, we got mid-gen refreshes last generation for two kind of reasons. The main one was, 4K TVs had just started really becoming a thing, and they wanted to capitalize on that. But the other thing was the PS4 and Xbox One, and it's kind of funny how we want these generations to stretch, but when those systems first came out, people were like, these things are underpowered pieces of crap, right? So it made sense. I'm not saying I agree with it. It made sense to have a mid-gen refresh at that point, right? For this generation, it doesn't make any sense at all. First of all, like you said, we are still getting PS4 games. Second of all, these systems are sufficiently powerful. It's just nothing has been out to actually take advantage of them. And then two, people are just now able to get PlayStation 5s.
What would be the selling point?
Yeah,
like you just pointed out. What's the selling point? What can they possibly say? Because if it's still too soon, and then what to put down your PS5? You can't do that. You can't. People just got it. They finally just got one and be like, oh, by the way, that shit's obsolete. We got this new butter version coming. It's the Pro, and it's got sprinkles and an electric light on it. What are you giving me? Because the games aren't there.
And Adam, I'm pretty sure you saw the story about how like PlayStation 5 sales are up 300%, right?
Yeah.
That means a lot of people are buying them. So if you just bought a PlayStation 5, which, and then you hear this shit, you're like, what? Mm-hmm. What's the point? What are we going to take advantage of? 8K? Like, come on now.
They're going down the road of cell phones. Because cell phones used to be yearly. Now it's like every 6 months. And I was like, oh, no, here's another one. Oh, you need some. There's people that just got their new one. I was like, what the fuck?
You got to get this shit in green,
Right? Oh, they sent me an email. It's like, oh, get the yellow one. Be the first. I'm like,
well, yeah, yellow. That's it. Yeah.
How dare you tell me that? I blocked the motherfucker. I'm like, you don't send me this shit. You don't tell me that I have to go and spend over $1,000 on a phone because the shit's yellow. How dare you?
Yeah, man.
Shit, my kids got crayons. If I wanted a yellow damn phone, I could have just handed to them and say, yo, go crazy. Break out the yellow crayon.
Yeah, this shit is so dumb. It like, again, what do we need these consoles for? It's like the only thing I could think of is like, because we're still at a point with some games where you could either have performance mode or quality mode. Maybe we'll get both. Like, and then how much is this shit going to cost? Are they going to lower the price of the regular PlayStation? Like,
it's a reason to essentially charge you the same amount of money.
Yeah. That's it's their way to, number one, create advertisement for the system post the release of a PlayStation 5. So when a PS5 Pro comes out, they get this whole advertisement campaign for it, get more people excited, get people that already have PS5s to buy a reason to buy a different PS5. And number two, it allows you to lower the price of the PS4 while still selling a console at $500.
This is all
embarrassing. That's the main purpose. I mean, and then Microsoft's going to do this too. They're good. Yeah.
But with the Xbox, it's even worse. They have no fucking games. So it's like, for what? So I could get a shinier version of fucking Hades? Right? What are we doing here?
I have a feeling if Xbox does it, it's going to be to do something to the Series X. Because that's the one that's causing the troubles with shit. They're probably going to make a new version. Yeah, the S.
They're going to have to do something with that one. Man.
Super S.
No, it's a budget. It sells. That's the thing. It sells. Yeah. It's just the publishers that are having issues. But the people that are buying it don't know that there's certain games they can't play on it. They just think they're getting a next-gen system for a deal.
Yeah.
Wait till one of the big games comes out. Wait till, like, let's say, I don't know what's considered a big game that would impact those people, but to find out it's like, oh shit, I can't play this on this S. Yeah, it doesn't have enough memory.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, Ace Ali, he goes, I expect the detachable hard drive model to come out, though, not the PS4. And the reason I'm highlighting that is because that's what the report said. It goes, that detachable model is coming out this year, and then the PlayStation Pro will come out. So basically, the report says that we will get 2 new PlayStation 5 consoles, in the coming years.
And what's one of the biggest issues with the PS5 right now? It's the size of a fucking jet engine.
Yeah.
And if they're gonna try to figure out a way, I don't know if this is gonna be the PS5 Slim version or the PS5 Pro is gonna be also gonna be the Slim or something like that. They'll do like a 2-in-1 because usually they do a PS Slim version and then and then last generation was a PS4 Pro, so they did 2 of those SKUs. So who knows? They might do the same thing, or they might do all-in-one PS5 Pro, which is going to be a slim and a more powerful console.
I'm going to be
who knows?
Pissed if that system is thin. You know why, right?
Because that shit.
You don't like fat people? What's up?
No, because I'm probably good. Like a fucking idiot, I'll probably buy it. I don't like looking at this PlayStation.
It's ugly.
It's fucking hideous. It's like I'll pay money to not look at this fucking thing. And I'm going to just stop the bullshit. Because last generation, I've said this 2 fucking generations in a row, I'm going to stop this bullshit. Right? When they came out with the new model PS3, I don't need that shit. Then something happens and I have to buy it. Said the same thing with the PS4 Pro. Right? It's like, I don't need it. My fucking PlayStation 4 breaks. I'm like, God damn it. So
why can't they just make a PLaystation 1 design just look like that?
Yeah, thin.
They don't have that would be awesome,
now, right? Like what happened?
Yeah, why can't I don't
know. Yeah. As soon as the Westerners became the heads of PlayStation, everything got big like Xboxes.
Yeah. No, but I think the heart of it is that we barely have any PS5 games. Let's count them. Let's have fun, right?
We barely have any next gen games.
We could do this actually. We got and I'm counting. I know it's a remake. Demon Souls, right? That's PS5 exclusive. Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, Destruction All Stars,
Astrobot's Playroom,
Astrobot, right?
Packing game.
Yeah, Gotham Knights. That's not exclusive for PS5. That's also so. Let's just
it's not.
But that was next gen.
But it is next gen only.
Next gen exclusive.
Yeah. But let's throw next gen only in there just cause. Just to prove a point.
Just cause.
No, just to prove a point. Forspoken, that's another one. So we got 6 games so far. What else?
What about the one by Bethesda that was once a PlayStation exclusive?
Deathloop, yes.
That's one that just.
That's 7.
That was a game that just came out.
You're noticing the problem, right? We're struggling to name games that only
the rat game. The rat game, isn't that also
the Plague game?
Yeah, the Plague, the new Plague game is that? That's
a Plague Tale.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, that's on. That's one. Oh yeah, it is.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, so it's on a PS4, right?
I don't know. So is Resident
The
Evil
Last
remake.
of Us Part 1. Listen, why not throw it in there? We still got less than 10 games. We could probably come up with 10, but it's like this shows you that there's not a lot of PlayStation 5. So why the fuck do we need a PS5 Pro for? For what?
It's not on the PS4, Manny, but it is on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh shit.
Oh, but Plague Tale isn't that running in what is that? Running on like cloud junk, or is it not?
Ooh, I do not know.
Yeah. Spider-Man remastered. Why not?
There was a game that came out.
It is exclusive to the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. So yeah, look at that. We're digging the bottom of the barrel right now.
Yeah, that's not even. That shouldn't even be counted.
It's
just a port.
Yeah. So yeah, if we discount the ports, but I still do count Demon Souls effectively as a remake.
Oh, Demon Souls had a full. I mean, other than the original game running like deep in the code, like all the other assets and things were and it was all re-recorded and everything. That and
you can't easily play it.
Yeah.
Like Last of Us, Spider-Man, you can play that on PS4. But so yeah, but that's the point. There's very few of these games to justify this new system. What are we getting? What are we getting? And how much is this shit going to cost? It's stupid. Like in the chat, let me know. Would you guys get a PS5 Pro? Like, I can't. Who is excited about this shit?
The only way I can see wanting to get this is if you have not owned a PlayStation 5 before, or if you haven't invested in the new whatever flat version, if that's supposedly coming. Yeah. Right?
Dude's in the chat already saying no. Actually, Logic One says hell to the no. Hell no. Fergus Mills. Hey, Fergus Mills, get me a PS5 Pro, bruh. Let's go.
We'll need our suppliers by that time.
You know? I will succumb eventually, but I'd be pissed. That's what Ace Ali said. Hey, listen, I'll probably get this bullshit too. You know?
I've never bought a Pro system ever.
Yeah.
I've the only time what was it, the PlayStation upgrade, like PlayStation 3, that one didn't have an alternate version. They just had a slim version.
Yeah,
and when my PlayStation went bad, I bought that one, right?
Yeah.
But 4 is my original 4. You know, that's about it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yo, man, you never got a 32X?
I got the 32X, but that soured me on getting that soured me on getting a Sega Saturn.
I don't blame you. I got the Sega Saturn though, Sega for life, you know. But that 32X is fucking unnecessary, man.
It was unnecessary.
Completely unnecessary. I had like 2 games for it, you know.
I liked the Tower of Power, even if it was stupid useless.
Yes.
The thing that pissed me off was the fact that you couldn't play those fucking games on the Saturn. That would have totally been like, okay, this is like it can play 32X games. It could, all right, good. I could put the Tower of Power away and then have a nice Sega Saturn. That would have totally sold me on a Saturn.
Yeah, the Saturn had a fucking cartridge slot right there.
It had a cartridge slot, and I was like, oh, okay, so you can put no, you can't use 32X.
So dumb.
What's wrong with you people?
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Anything
Still
else?
Mad about that Sega.
Yeah, Sega fuck. You know, if you read that book, Adam, you already know. Like Sega really fucked themselves over, man. You know.
Yeah, Sega did. Sega did.
Adam's still over there playing. You know.
The question is, how much is this thing going to cost?
That's my question.
Because unless the PS5 gets a reduction in price, then this thing could easily be $600 plus.
Shit. Yeah,
again,
that's what I think.
Brian. That's what I asked before. It's like, are they going to lower the price of the regular PS4 to, to sell this for $500? Because you're right. If it's going to have to be $600 if it maintains the normal price. You're 100% right about that.
And then, can people actually be willing to buy a $600 console? In the current climate of things? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that either, man. This is a bad mistake. You know, it's like let games come out.
It's true.
Yeah. Fucking stupid. All right. Any other thoughts on this?
I will just mention that there is a precedent, but albeit only a one generation precedent where they did lower the price. So who knows? Maybe they'll follow that trend, or maybe they'll raise the price. I don't think they'll raise the price. I feel like 500 is the price that they settled with the original, and normally these Pro consoles don't really have as much R&D attached to them as the actual mainline consoles did when they released. So I don't think so, but we'll see. You never know.
So do you think they'll lower the price of the regular PS5 then?
Yeah, I think that'll be $400.
Yeah.
For the.
But what about the
what are the
digital
prices
one?
right
Is
now?
400. So they would have to lower 500.
Yeah.
It would have to be 400 and 300 because they would have to lower. The digital one is now available. At least
if they got the digital one down to 300 to compete with the Series S, that'd be pretty fucking huge. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're just going to charge more for the Pro.
Actually, what they're going to, because remember the report is that the new model of the PS5 that's coming out right now, or that will be coming out, is digital unless you buy the attachment, and it's going to phase out both versions of the current PS5. So that'll be both in one in a way. Understand?
Okay, so this one will be.
Go ahead, Brett.
So this one will be $600 for the digital version. I was like, they're not going to drop the price. Like, when has Sony ever done that?
No, Brett. This is what they're going to do. I'm saying this right now. Record this, people. And I know we are recording, but just for the sake of argument, okay. I think this new PS5 that's coming out with the detachable hard drive, it's going to be $400. But you want to buy that hard drive, $100.
The CD drive.
Wait. Okay, so this is it. Are we talking a Pro version? Or
no, we're talking about the new PS5.
The new Slim.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the mid-gen refresh version.
No. So that's my okay. So just to clarify, my theory is that the new PS5 that's coming out, let's just for the sake of argument, called the PS5 Slim, right? No what are we gonna call Blu-ray drive? No Blu-ray drive, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna cost $400 if you want to buy the Blu-ray drive, extra $100. That's how they come up with the loss. Then, when the PS5 Pro drops next year, that'll be $500.
And I also think that if they do this, that'll probably be a fully digital version too. But it'll be the justification is
the Blu-ray could work on that one too. That's how they get you.
No, I don't think that Blu-ray is going to work for it. I think they're going to do that bullshit where they're going to fucking make you pay for an alternate Blu-ray that fits into this other one. They're going to do that shit.
Go ahead,
that's what Sony's going to do.
I'm going to look into my crystal ball here for a second. I don't think that a essentially modular system with all that entails is going to be cheaper to produce than a system that is kind of already internally streamlined.
Oh, by the way, Brett, so you understand my logic, because the digital one is only $400, right? So get an attachment for it, and then that's how you understand.
Yeah, but here's the deal: like that's more parts and labor and packaging for the same price. Like that's where I think you're off the mark there a little bit. So like you're gonna get 2 boxes. Like if you want to build like the equivalent of what would be now a $500 PlayStation. You're saying you spend $500, but now it's going to come in 2 packages. It's going to have the hookups instead of being, internally streamlined. Either they're going to sell it twice, they're going to ship it twice, and it's all going to be the same price. And like, I don't fucking buy that.
No. That's not what I think they're going to do.
Okay, so let me to get a digital PS5 Slim and a hard drive, how much do you think it's going to cost?
Altogether, $500.
Okay, and a PlayStation 5 that is already has all those components internalized without the need to buy connectors and sell it as 2 packages and ship it as 2 packages. How much does that cost?
That'll also be $500. They're going to eat the cost. But here's the thing, because remember, they're going to sell it to you. It's like, if you want to buy this Blu-ray drive, you can, but you don't have to buy it.
Or you can buy it later.
Yeah. That's how they're going to do it. And also they're going to justify it by the fact that most people who buy PlayStation games do so digitally.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
I think this is a convenient time for them to raise the price.
They already did in worldwide. You mean in America? I don't think that's going to fly,
I mean, you're going to get 2 SKUs now, and it's going to be like, well, you can just I don't think that digital one's going to be $400. I really don't. I don't think they're going to eat that cost, man.
But they're already selling a digital one for $400.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the like. Do you understand that like when you have to like build something like that, you have to add male and female connections in redundant places so that it can hook up together?
I literally think it's going to be like a fucking USB-C connection, and that's the end of that.
Like, even then,
I think they're literally just going to take the current PS5 digital and just slightly change the design, but it's basically going to be the same thing. And then adding this thing is like the equivalent of like adding like a SSD drive or something like that. Like it's going to be really fucking ugly. It's not even going to look elegant. It's just going to be an attachable thing. That's what I predict.
It's still like you need to build the housing for that unit. You have to build the male and female ends of the adapters. Like it's
already there.
Cost.
It's already there, dude. Like it's already on the PlayStation. That shit's
look at
there.
me, Brett. Look at me.
I am.
Do you see me? Do you see me? It's not the monolith or that in the middle. Like they can just use that, or they can use the connect with the back.
Exactly what I think they're going to do.
So there's a plug on my PlayStation where I can just hook up CD drive, an optical drive into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. USB-C port in the front.
Yep.
In fact,
look at the Carlos's picture. It's right there.
In fact, somebody already proved that you could do that. They literally stuck a Blu-ray drive on the front of the PlayStation Digital, and it read that the PlayStation Digital was. It read that the drive was there. They tried to put a game in or a movie, and obviously it didn't work. But
it was blocked. It was blocked by Sony.
Yeah, so basically it's just a just do a firmware update or something. There you go. They're going to do this the stupidest way possible. I guarantee they're not going to be doing something cool where it's like a mod or a console. It's just plug it in. I guarantee that's what they're going to do because that's the cheapest thing to do. You know,
I mean, they did it with their SSDs.
Yeah, see, there you go.
I'm confident enough to just about confident enough to. You want to take a bet, Tony?
No, because I'm just hypothesizing. I could be wrong.
Okay, I'm confident enough. I don't think you're going to be able to get the slim and a hard drive for $500. I don't.
Okay, fair enough. I guess we'll see. You know, but I think they're just going to be selling this. I think this
and a disk drive
and a disk drive. Yeah, and a disk drive.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. Yeah, sorry for the confusion, but we're talking about disk drives here. But again, but I mean, I already explained my theory. They already have a digital console. They're just going to make it look a little different and then sell this attachment for it. I
think so too. But I think that also we live in a world where people are driving prices up for no good reason. These prices haven't been driven up in North America yet. This is just a good way to be you're going to end up spending another $20 this way, $25, $50 this way, but you don't have to buy the optical drive for it. So it's they're going to float it as it's more expensive if you go the premium option.
Or but it's not a premium option. It's just buy this attachment for it.
Yeah, but that's not how they're going to market it, man. They're going to market it as like nobody really needs. They're essentially trying to phase out the hard drive altogether. It's a good idea to take command of their own digital marketplace.
Disk drive, no, that's basically what.
Disk drive. Sorry,
Brett, I'm doing the same fucking mistake. Don't worry about it. But again, because they already know 80% of people who buy PlayStation games are buying them digitally anyway. So you're right about that. They want to phase that fucking disk drive out. You know.
So if it's a little bit more expensive now that it has to be kind of modular, that's fine. Just don't buy that part anyway. Buy all your games on. On the marketplace.
I'll meet you halfway. The system will cost $450, and then the Blu-ray drive will be $50. There you go.
I still think they're going to be more like it's going to be. Yeah, I still think they're going to push. Because why not? Why would they not just say it's $450 and then another $100 for the drive? But you don't really need it, and that'll be the part that you land on a lot. And then the whole internet will be like, well, it's not something that you technically need.
Although I want to see them justify raising the price by $50 for the digital console, That's what I want to see. How are you going to justify that?
It's a redesign.
Yeah, I guess they could do that, but it's
they've never done it before.
No,
and if they would have done the raising the price in North America, they would have done it. This was a perfect opportunity when they raised the price up the rest of the world. And they didn't raise it up here, so I don't think anything's going to go up in price.
I don't think so.
I think everything's is going to stay the same for the most part.
In America,
Yeah, in America, I can't speak for New Zealand. Shout out to Blitz. You guys always handle things in different things, but yeah, I think if they release a PS5 Pro, it's going to be $500, and whatever we have left of the PS5, whether it's a digital or a disc version, then they'll tier it out. The $400 one will be the one with a disc, and then the other one will be the digital one. But if they only have a digital console, then that'll be the $400 one.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. All right, any more thoughts on this? That's it. Yeah. All right, that's yours. Actually, Manny, what about you? Because you said you're going to get a PlayStation 5 for Spider-Man. Do you even care about this Pro version?
Here's the thing. If it comes out in time for me to buy it, sure.
Yeah.
I'll get it then. because I didn't buy initial one, but I can't see. I don't. As soon as I buy a PlayStation 5, that's going to be the only one I own. I am not going to invest in another fucking console.
Yeah,
and I thought it was
yeah.
The last
Mary,
time
all these games.
they did it.
Yeah, no, but that's why I was wondering. Like, would you be willing to wait, or do you like, nah, I want my Spider-Man right now?
No, I don't want to play the game.
Yeah,
You know, and if this new one is thinner, sure, okay, why not? But I guess I got to invest in a stupid disk drive. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
yeah, you're right about that because theoretically, if this slim one comes out when Spider-Man does, because I think they're probably going to do that. I guess you would end up buying that version, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah.
Just if that is what they're going to be doing now.
Yeah.
Now, number one, it'd be dumb of them to release a new console, a new variation of the console, and not have anything next to it to sell it with.
Yeah.
You're
stupid. Right. Yeah. So Spider-Man could be it. What is that noise, by the way? Yeah. Thank you. I think.
Remember we talked about system sellers.
Yeah, Spider-Man is a system seller for sure.
I mean,
yeah, Brett.
The next one,
Spider-Man is literally the best-selling game on PlayStation. It's absolutely a system seller.
That's why I kind of hesitate. I was like, are you talking the current one or the new one that's going to be coming out?
The last one was the best one, so it's the best-selling PlayStation game. So we have to assume this new one will be a system seller as well.
I don't know if I can count something as a system seller if it's not exclusive to that system, and that therefore therein lies the problem.
But it's exclusive to PlayStation, and it's only on PlayStation 5. It's not coming to PS4.
The new one is, yeah, and that's why I said that's why I clarify. Are you talking about the last? I don't know if I count the last Spider-Man as a system seller. I think I do count this new one because it's going to be PS5 exclusive, and that's a big fucking deal. People will buy a PlayStation 5.
We agree on that. Yeah, we agree on that. Yeah, then. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this game will be a system seller, and it'll be a good time to sell a new system, wouldn't it? I'm talking about the PS5 Slim in this case.
Honestly, I'm finally seeing what I consider to be both major consoles finally about to release their first system seller. Because I can't count I can't count anything PlayStation. There haven't been any fucking exclusive. Maybe Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, but Ratchet and, I mean, we named them, but we struggled to even come up with 10.
Well, those were exclusives. Do you think there's any system sellers in there?
No, none. Even Ratchet and Clank was not a system seller. Absolutely not. So neither was Returnal. None of those games have been system sellers.
Yeah, and Microsoft, Starfield is the first one that I think has a chance to kind of beat that. So it's
although Starfield will be a subscription seller.
What's that?
It'll be a subscription seller.
I think it'll sell the whole fucking system. Although I will say, I do want to kind of throw it out there. As much as I bitch and as much as cynical as I am, the next year and a half is shaping up to be pretty fucking good, man. We got Baldur's Gate, we got Diablo, we got Starfield. There's a lot of games I'm excited about coming up. Finally.
Yeah. Oh boy, the guys in the chat don't think Starfield is going to be a system seller. They said the same thing I did. It's going to be a Game Pass seller. Interesting.
How are you going to buy? Oh, you mean if you already have a PC? Sure, yeah, I can see that. If you don't have a gaming PC, what are you going to do? Buy $1,000 PC or buy a $500 system?
Yeah. Or get
it depends on what type of it depends on what type of influencers you watch on YouTube.
You got to explain this one.
Well, every time I see my nephews, they're always watching PC build guides, and they don't even have money to make PCs. So my guess is if they ever want to play, and they already have PCs, but this was last year. But if they wanted to play a game that was available on PC, then they would have gotten it there instead of an Xbox. Trust me, man. Back in the day, you played with however much money your parents made, or however much money your parents would give you. These days, it's if kids want something, they usually get it.
Yeah, well, that's kind of thing. I fucking hate to say it, but PC building has become a young man's game, man. All those working fucking stiffs can't necessarily throw a couple grand at a hobby. Like that's one of the reasons I think fucking VR hasn't picked up, man. Like that shit is expensive. It is so fucking expensive. Luckily, and this is kind of where I'm still hopeful about the whole thing. That shit is popping off in Japan. I mean, it is going fucking crazy, and I understand why. So it's being supported by industry and other markets. So we'll just wait until it gets good over here, and then we'll pick it up.
And you know what else the Japanese are waiting for? A slim PlayStation console.
Although
Well,
apparently
no
the
wonder
PS5
you
is doing
can't
well
fucking
over there.
fit this one in your apartment.
Yeah, but apparently the PS5 is selling well over there, which is weird. That like you can't even fit one of those things in a Japanese apartment.
It's
They
a
just
door
live
in a
inside the
Japanese
PlayStation,
apartment.
Tony.
Yeah, right. It's big enough. That shit is crazy. All right, man. Let us move on here. So we got to talk about Microsoft. Apparently they've signed their fourth Call of Duty deal, and it's led to some glorious memes. But we'll get to that. So right now, Microsoft and Ubisoft, I've never heard of them, a leading cloud gaming provider, have signed a 10-year partnership to stream Xbox PC games as well as Activision titles after the acquisition closes. And they also made a deal with Boosteroid, which is another 10-year deal. And yeah, then the meme started flying. It's like, they made a 10-year deal with KFC for the chicken console or whatever. That didn't happen, by the way.
Dude, I'm about to lock down a 10-year deal with Activision. That's how easy. That's how much I'm throwing that shit around.
But we all know what this is about. This is all about like making it look like they're not trying to have a monopoly.
This whole thing is so fucking like, it's just stupid. They're going to all like the level of theatrics to show that they're not going to be a monopoly when they would be a monopoly, even if they were guilty of what they were accused. Like it's just. It's all pageantry. There's no substance, and I think that's why we get so fucking upset. If you don't mind me speaking for everybody, that's why we get so fucking upset every time this comes up, because there's nothing here. It is just all it's like high school drama. It's all a bunch of he said, she said. So somebody ends up looking clean, so they can win a popularity contest. It's fucking stupid.
But the FTC said it's still not good enough because they want to know the future. They're like, fine, 10 years this decade, but what about after that? What about other spin-offs and all that stuff? It's like, well, eventually, yeah, they're going to have their own exclusives. And FTC is like, why? Like, they don't seem to understand that exclusives is something that applies to all other platforms. They make it seem like it's just a Microsoft thing.
Yeah, and I don't understand this because, like, this is a universe where Disney just bought literally everything.
Yeah.
Like, we have precedent for IPs. We have precedent for exclusivity rights. There's streaming service. Like, there's nothing here completely original or completely unique. Sure, it's presented in slightly different context in this specific instance, but why Call of Duty? Is it just because it makes so much money?
It's not Call of Duty. It's Microsoft. It's why Microsoft. The way that the FTC sees it, and this is how all the lawyers that are keep talking about this, is just that it's a big bad. Microsoft has always been considered the big bad. And when they see that they're trying to gobble up a really big company with that type of price tag, they're like, well, this could probably damage whatever industry that they're trying to buy into, because that's almost $60 billion. And this isn't like, oh, we're just buying Skype or one of these other smaller apps just to add to our catalog. No, it sounds troublesome. So that's why they're giving some merit to Sony's complaint, because, well, this is a ridiculous number. No, we're rejecting this. Something's wrong. Something's wrong here. You have to be doing something shady. And that's what it is. So now they want to find the shadiness.
They're trying to find the real Slim Shady.
I mean, like, exclusives, they're a thing.
I mean, like we talked about it last week, right? Tony, where in England or Europe or something, they were putting out flyers and ads and all that stuff. They're now having the people put the pressure. And by adding all these services, those subscribers to those services are now reaching out to their local government or whoever's in charge of those type of decisions.
Wait,
like,
Microsoft is?
What?
Microsoft is doing this?
What do you mean? Microsoft's doing what?
Like paying the protesters.
Who's paying protest? No one's paying protesters.
Oh, I thought you said
put
like
ad-
they're
no,
he's talking
he
about the advertisements.
When they put advertisements in the
Oh.
newspapers and stuff like that, talking about, oh,
trying to
look
get the
what we're
public on
doing.
their side.
Yeah, they're trying to get the public. So then the public is now putting the pressure, and that's what they're hoping for. That the public puts the pressure on there.
The way you said it, I thought it was like, yeah, Microsoft in the UK, they got people going in the streets passing out flyers. I'm like, what the?
No.
You know, and I think I'm finally getting this. Like, I now have a dog in this fight. God damn it! I want to play Diablo 4 for free. Let this shit just go through. God damn it!
Okay.
Like, I'm going to have to spend $70 of my own money if this doesn't go through, and I'm not happy about that. You want to talk about anti-consumer? You're taking money out of my pockets.
Yeah. And then that's the other thing. It's not that these games are going to be free on those services. They're just going to have an opportunity to play them on the services. They're going to have to still buy them. It's just not there now. It's sort of like the GeForce situation. Those games were just not on the service for you to even purchase.
Wait, Brett.
Yeah, but like Microsoft has been clear enough that they like.
Yeah.
And like, I want to make sure I'm not alone in this. We do assume that if Microsoft acquires Activision, that all of the Activision Blizzard titles that come with it are going to be day one releases, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, they said it. They said it.
Well, I don't know about like World of Warcraft DLC and all that kind of stuff.
That's subscription based stuff. I mean, how does that work with Fallout 76? Because that's also subscription based, but that's already on there. Does that stuff come day one? No, I think you have to buy it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the add-ons you have to pay for them.
Yeah,
you get the base game.
Yeah. All right. Well,
yeah. So
there'll probably be more of that.
So Brett, so the Diablo comes out tomorrow, right?
The beta.
No.
Diablo.
It comes out June 6th.
Yeah, tomorrow is just the beta.
Oh, got it. I thought it was a game. I was like, damn.
No. It'd be a lot bigger deal than that.
Yeah,
it's starting to look like watch this shit go through like sometime in July or August. Finally.
Yeah, probably.
When is the deadline on this deal? I know we remember
I know it's
that.
in June, isn't it?
Yeah, but by April 25th and 26th, within that time is when they have to have the decisions made.
Oh, by April?
Yeah, I mean, they Microsoft announced it's like they're thinking about it'll be finalized by the end of the fiscal year, and the fiscal year ends in a couple of days. So yeah, that's not going to happen. So probably going to have to wait for whatever that deadline is that Adam just mentioned.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on here. More about this, obviously. So this is interesting. So basically, Sony is saying that the reason they can't trust Microsoft's Call of Duty offer is because of Bethesda. And this is something we've kind of talked about before, where basically Starfield was actually going to be multi-plat until this happened, you know? So it was it. But there was a Bethesda game specifically that was supposed to be multi-plat, and then it became an exclusive. It was Starfield, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Starfield. Yeah, so they're like, okay, so they're basically saying, okay, you guys did that with Starfield. What's to stop you from doing that with Call of Duty? That's what Sony's saying, you know.
Well, they could have did that with Deathloop, and they didn't. They let that go exclusive.
It was because it was openly announced that way.
That's what I'm saying. And this wasn't. So that's what I'm saying. This wasn't. And Phil even addressed it again. He's like, we never said Starfield. So they don't understand. They want to see the proof. That's one of the things brought up in the documents for the court case. Show us in writing where we said Starfield was going to be part of this.
Yeah, but that's what Sony's saying. Like, oh, you guys did this show with Starfield, you know, so that's where they're coming at it from, you know.
It seems like they keep changing the goalposts. They're not going to do this.
They're saying this as like on the heels of being outed for fucking like paying companies like Square Enix to keep their games exclusive to their system. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is the epitome of like glass houses, man. Like, you are literally doing the kind of shit you are blaming other people of doing. at least have consistency, I guess. I don't know, man. It's this whole thing has just gotten too stupid for me.
Yeah, it's gotten just dumb now. They're just bickering like children at this point.
Wah.
Yeah,
So okay, here it is.
God forbid,
yeah. Go ahead, Brett.
Go ahead.
No, you go. I got to read this.
Oh, I don't understand where they're coming at this from, because if you take any argument to the nth degree, you're usually going to see the absurdity of it. So if you take their arguments to the nth degree, okay, so we should just have no exclusives then, and then we should just open up the system altogether. No, that's not what you want. Okay, so some exclusives are okay, but other exclusives are not okay. But it's okay if they've been exclusive, or if you've been paying for the exclusivity, but it's not okay if they haven't been exclusive, or if you bought there's no fucking consistent rules here. And like you said, it's like children bickering. They're just reacting to the last person the other person fucking said, and failing to establish a cohesive point at all.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Yeah, and that's what it is. Basically, Sony saying hey, this game was supposed to come out for everything. They took it away. They're going to do that with Call of Duty.
What do they think they bought Bethesda for? It couldn't be that's me oh, we bought Rockstar, but I mean it couldn't be for Grand Theft Auto. It's for their other library of stuff. Granted, Bethesda makes stuff, but Skyrim is what, going on 12 years right now, and it's still one of the biggest fucking games in gaming. That's what they bought. That's what they spent billions of dollars on. That right there. The next Bethesda game is a Microsoft game. Pretty much why the fuck would they let it be multi-plat? At that point, what the fuck was the point of buying the studio? Wolfenstein? Doom?
I mean, that's
good games, but
that's what we've been saying. It's they bought these companies so they can have exclusives, which is something Microsoft lacks. But again,
and by the way,
yeah,
and Microsoft bought Activision because a huge part because Call of Duty. And Call of Duty, the only reason why they're not other than FTC and CMA stuff, the reason why it's not going to be exclusive right away is because PlayStation is the breadwinner for Call of Duty. So whenever the tides change, they're like, oh,
they also don't want to ostracize their fan base.
Yeah, but there's still once the tide changes and the fan base becomes more, it's on Game Pass every year. I don't have to pay $70 every year. I just pay the subscription and get other games. Oh, I'm gonna get it on Game Pass or Microsoft next time. And then slowly but surely, more and more people come until PlayStation becomes the least beneficial or the benefactor for Activision and Call of Duty. And then that's when they make the switch. And then that's when it's not going to be a big deal for anyone that's a Call of Duty fan, because Call of Duty is now the Xbox is the home of Call of Duty now, and not PlayStation.
Yeah, and that's something Sony doesn't want to lose, obviously. But yeah, this whole thing's fucking stupid. But we're gonna have to keep talking about it.
I don't blame them. It's a big company with people that have lots of money invested in stock options, wanting to keep their golden parachute. I get it.
Yeah. No, like I said,
most people would have probably filed a lawsuit to begin with. I just don't understand why the FCC is fooled by all this shit.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure one of their kids, they're going to take my PlayStation. They're going to take Call of Duty from my PlayStation. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
And when everything Microsoft does and whatever acquisitions they make that are this caliber, they're always going to raise red flags when it comes to regulation, because it's just Microsoft, big tech.
How did Disney just buy all that shit? How did Disney just buy Marvel and Fox and fucking everything under the goddamn sun?
They bought Marvel when Marvel wasn't who they are now. Now it's the MCU, Marvel. It's a huge ass thing. Back then, they bought them without actually having that big of a. They had Iron Man.
Yeah, they only did Iron Man, maybe Iron Man and Iron Man 2, and one of the Thor films, and then that was it.
Yeah, so
I think they were already full Disney by the time. I think it's 2009. They were bought. So yeah.
And I mean, Lucasfilm, they didn't release it. They hadn't released a Star Wars film since the prequels. And then the last Indiana Jones movie was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I'm not saying that Disney shouldn't have been able to buy those things. I'm just saying that even if you look at like even without the MCU, like Marvel pretty much owned comic books. They were pretty much buying the keys to a print medium. I mean, that turned out super well, as we all know. But it just looks like, if we're talking about just like window glance appearances, that seems so much fucking worse than this.
Oh no! If you're looking at it today, it is. But if you're looking at Lucasfilm and Marvel back then, as opposed to Call of Duty right now, it's not even a comparison. Call of Duty blows them out of the fucking water.
Yeah, it's true.
Call of Duty is one of the most popular pieces of media in the world.
I guarantee you, I'm just saying this for the sake of argument, Brett, I know you love hypotheticals, so here you go. If Call of Duty was not even, if it was just not an Activision game, we wouldn't even be talking about this. It would have been like the Bethesda deal. Oh, they bought Activision, cool. And then that's it. No one would have cared. But this is all about Call of Duty at the end of the day. That's why this is a big deal, because that is the biggest gaming franchise on earth, Everybody, normies know about that shit. Like, it's huge, So it makes sense that, it's getting so much scrutiny. It's stupid, but that's what it is.
Yeah, okay, so let me ask this. Does anybody think that Sony has a substantiated argument?
Well, their arguments are pretty sound. It's more of like, do I feel it ethical that Microsoft just buys whoever the competition off? Like, and I think that's the bigger question, whether or not Sony is saying, oh, well, Microsoft can make this an exclusive eventually and destroy and hurt our status quo, then that makes plenty of sense.
Yeah, I understand where Sony's coming from completely. If I was them, I'd be fighting this tooth and nail too. In all
honesty, I probably would too, but I don't think that means it's a valid argument.
Yeah, no, maybe it isn't. But
Especially
again, go ahead.
Oh, if they were closer, sure, but like Microsoft hasn't touched Sony in, like, let's be real, well over a decade, probably more. Like, it's not like it's going to tip the scales towards anything that is even honestly in Microsoft's favor. Like, even if they straight up just took Call of Duty, I don't know that they'd be more successful than Sony. Pretty sure they wouldn't. I'm pretty sure Sony would still have the lion's share of the market.
Maybe, but it wouldn't be as big of a piece of the pie.
No, I know, but therein lies the crux, right? Yeah. Like saying, I don't want to lose market share. I want to have less competition. Like, that's not a valid reason to fuck with an acquisition. I understand the reasoning behind it, but to say like, oh, it put the market closer to fair, kind of goes against all of the actual arguments that they've put forward.
Yeah, but that's not what they're arguing. No one's seeing it that way. Like, I see what you're saying, but that's kind of not the way these people see things.
Yeah,
they just say like, I want to keep the lead, and that's just I want to keep the lead, so I'm going to convince everybody that this would ruin competition, and competition is a good thing. Like, you just made the argument for why they should be allowed to do this.
This isn't like Sony. Their whole point is not trying to make a point of ethics. I don't think anybody's thinking that.
Yeah,
it's a more of a Darwinistic retort what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think, in my opinion, everybody and their brother sees that this is just reactionary to save their dominance over the market share.
Yeah.
Right. Like.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where I'm kind of, I get confused or frustrated. I was like, who actually believes like the song and dance that they're putting on? Nobody actually believes it, right? I'm pretty sure everybody just like, nah, Sony just don't want to lose money.
Yeah, I think everybody knows that. Yeah.
So it just seems like, so why is the entire like gaming and gaming journalism sphere fucking huddled around this? Like, the production that they're producing is an actual thing. It's just all smoke and mirrors. We all fucking know it. Who cares?
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. The industry doesn't seem to be taking too much of a side here. It's just, this is the biggest thing happening in gaming, so they have to report on it. Like you have to. Like again, even Normie News is covering this shit. You know, it's big.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Just how it is, man. I know
it just sounds like this.
Yeah.
It's something nobody wants to hear about. We're all going to keep hearing about.
Yep, pretty much until this is over. That's why I'm like, please just end this. Because again, I ultimately don't care if this happens or not. But I just want it to be. I would prefer Microsoft buy them just so we could shut up about this. You know, it's stupid because it's dumb. But again, when you have like Call of Duty on the line and no games coming out, this is all we have to talk about. You know, it's crazy. All right, let's move on here. Let's talk about Naughty Dog. Mr. Neil Druckmann, he was on, I think it was the Kind of Funny podcast. He was mainly there to talk about the season finale of I keep wanting to say The Walking Dead, the Last of Us, right?
Yes.
By the way, a quick aside, I find it fucking hilarious how normies are having the same argument about the ending of the show that people had about the ending of the game 10 years ago. Because the show ends the same way the game does, right? So it's just funny. People are like with fervor too, like, oh, remember, Joel was wrong, Joel was right. I'm like, you guys are fucking 10 years late for this, man. We had this conversation already.
You mean when like
you know?
You mean when like a certain character died in a certain walking show, and when everybody lost their minds on that one?
Yeah, no, but I'm like literally. No, funny. Yeah, but it's literally.
Remember the same deal.
Yeah, it is. No, but I'm just saying, we had this exact conversation 10 years ago. It's just fucking hilarious.
But it also shows you how little.
Yeah, they don't pay attention, you know?
People like that pay attention.
Well, they're not gamers. Why would they know?
This show, The Last of Us, in general, is hitting a totally different audience than, obviously it has the game audience, but it's not. But the majority audience that's talking about it is the people who don't play games.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Again, I just find it just fucking hilarious. I'm like it's the same exact arguments. There's no differences whatsoever. You know, very, very interesting. But anyway, let's get back to the topic here. So he was on the show to talk about the ending, but they also talked about what's coming up with the company in the future. So they said that they have their next game in place. It is locked in, but it's not The Last of Us. Very interesting. Like we will. They said we will get factions, the multiplayer, before this new game drops. Right, we don't know when. They said they're probably gonna have an announcement around June or so. An announcement with an announcement, probably gonna be an announcement, but they already have their game in place. We don't want to go down the route of speculating what the fuck it could be. But pretty interesting that it's not gonna be The Last of Us 3.
Most likely not a Jack and Daxter.
No. Again, I'm sticking with my theory that we probably won't get a Last of Us 3. That the story will just continue in the show. I think that's what's going to happen, and also speaking about the show, they've confirmed that the next game basically is going to be told in 2 seasons or more than 1 season. Maybe not 2 seasons, but more than 1. So
again,
what I'm thinking, they're stretching it out now.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking they're going to do it right. They're going to kill Joel off at the season finale. For
I think so. I think that's exactly
gonna
what I was
be. They're going to
thinking,
extend that section of it where you're still going to have young Ellie, and then it's going to cut to the next one.
Yeah,
spoilers,
so.
man.
Yeah, for a 3-year-old game. Yeah. But yeah, I think, Manny, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yeah, that's probably going to be the season finale. Abby kills Joel. And it's like, and then the fucking Normie's going to be in it too.
We're going to see. Yeah, they're going to be. They're going to hate golf just like everybody else did.
Oh my god. Okay, I can actually see how this is all playing out. So if they do that, then they can come back with the next season and court the controversy of toxic blah blah blahs, hate feminine blah blah blah. If you hate Abby, you're a shitbag of a person.
It's gonna be a repeat of this whole bullshit,
Well, okay, so like, and I've always known that they've kind of done this, but I didn't realize there's actually an industry term for like courting controversy.
Fan baiting, right? I just learned about that. I just learned that. I learned that fucking phrase this week. I'm like, fan baiting? What's that? But yeah, that's exactly what it is, and it's gonna happen again, man. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, like, we all knew it was happening, but like the degree that fan baiting goes into marketing strategies is fucking sickening, man. Like,
it really is.
I knew, like, I was like, Rockstar's been doing this stuff since like the 90s. Like, no, the stuff that they're doing now is specifically like spitting in your food so that you make a ruckus, so they can be like, oh, we're being victimized.
Yeah. Logic wins. He goes, I don't think the quote-unquote incident regarding Abby will play out the same in the show. Why not? The show has been pretty faithful to the game so far.
The only question is that did they even give you an inkling of Abby in the I don't know, finale of this one?
That's a good question, but I don't know if we want to answer that. But yeah, again, they seem to be pretty true to the source material. So I think
the thing is, remember we talked about. We've talked about this.
Thank you, Bliss. He says no, Manny. So there you go.
No, they're not going to be able to do
being faithful. They didn't give you any inkling in the first one either.
They could have fixed that plot hole. They could have fixed that plot hole if you think about it.
Wait, was Abby in the finale? Yes or no, guys? We could fuck it. We don't. I don't care. Tell us in the chat.
The actress was.
Oh, damn it. I don't ruin my joke.
Yeah.
Because I'll say technically she was.
Yeah.
But she wasn't.
Don't let. Fergus he says no spoilers. Don't let Adam talk.
Yo, man, Fergus
already aired though, and she came out and she talked about it. They had it on their podcast. HBO has their own podcast for The Last of Us.
It's not called Talking Dead though.
Okay, no. we're getting conflicting reports in the chat. Some people say she was in it. Some people are saying she wasn't. Some people are saying it's a shadow. What's going on?
The voice actress was one of the nurses.
Laura Bailey, yes. She was, yeah.
So that's it.
What's her face? She was in it too, right?
The mom. Voice, well, Ellie, the original Ellie. She played the mom. She played a big part in that. So one of the things that Rich and Carlos and I talked when we covered this, we were trying to figure out it's the time jump, because that's the thing. When in the game, Abby was younger when that happened with her dad, and then she went to the military route and beefed up and shit. But then you would have to have all that time pass, and it doesn't look like they're going to do all that time passing because, well, we're dealing with real actors, and we have the actress that plays Ellie. Would they replace her? They're going to pull like a House of the Dragons type of thing? No, they're not going to do that. So it only makes sense that if anything, they have it where she was either they keep it with that the daughter was one of the nurses in the room and she got to see Joel kill her father. And that's why she wants to go after him for vengeance. Or they go running into the back and she's already military Jane. And they're like, hey, this dude just came in and shot your dad. What? But it doesn't make any sense to do a time, do the whole time jump if you're not going to replace some of the actors.
Yeah, but what's funny is the girl who plays Ellie in the current show is the same age that Ellie is in the video game in part 2. Like, people think she's like 12.
She doesn't look it.
Yeah, no, it's like people think she's 12. No, she's 18. Or 19 or something, Like, she's not going to look any older than that, people.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Maybe they'll just do something with her hair or something, make her look older. I don't know. But they already said they're not going to replace her. They're not going to pull a House of the Dragon. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess the question I want to ask to you guys is, do you care about what Naughty Dog has to come out with in the future? Because I'm kind of done, to be honest.
I'm thinking the same.
Yeah.
Well, if it's not an Uncharted and Last of Us game, then I care.
I'm intrigued that I'm happy that they're moving on to something, but at the other end, I'm sort of reluctant because it's been a downward spiral into this sort of like, games are serious, expressions of emotions and I sort of want them to have fun again, but I feel like at the road that they're going, they can't ever go that direction again.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be more serious, dour stuff. It's funny because they released Uncharted 4 on PCs. I had to write something about it, so I played something. I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I didn't like this game. It felt like The Last of Us to me.
Yeah, you felt the direct effect of The Last of Us on Uncharted. It's like let's get serious now and let's talk about serious feeling. There's some points, yes, okay, yeah, you get it, have it in there, but at the same time, I feel like they that was road they were going, and that every one of their games is going to take that road.
Yeah.
So everybody keeps saying, "Oh, I want to see them do Jack and Daxter." To be honest, modern Naughty Dog doesn't even look like they know how to have fun anymore.
Well, Neil Druckmann literally said our game is not fun. You know,
he doesn't believe in games being fun. That's what he said.
Yeah, well, his game.
See,
good old no fun Neil. No.
Well, here's the thing. Like, you know, games are not films, and are we gonna go into another dour situation where we, I don't know. I just again, I'm intrigued that they're making a new game, but I'm also reluctant at the same time because it's going to be modern Naughty Dog making this game. They're not going to do a Hi-Fi Rush. I can tell you fucking that. They're not going to come out with this goofy fun game after making horror games, like the Tango GameWorks did.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brett. Because I'll see what this new game has to offer, but right now I'm not really feeling Naughty Dog. I haven't really been feeling them for a while now.
I mean, it's I was just watching a really good breakdown of grimdark narrative settings, and a lot of the problems that they had with the settings kind of apply to Naughty Dog, because essentially The Last of Us is a grimdark story. There is no moral right. There is no there's no winning. There's just kind of surviving. And a lot of those same problems kind of explain why Last of Us is the way that it is, because when you don't have kind of a moral imperative, when you don't have a way to save the world, when you're just kind of being super edgy like that, you have to really rely on character narratives. And when you rely on character narratives and then kill one of those characters, wrap it up with another character narrative, it's going to be inherently controversial, and boom, that's the formula for The Last of Us. But another problem with that is that, it's, for a lot of people, kind of doing that is this secondhand catharsis. You dip yourself into terrible existence so that when you pop back out and you're like, I need to go work at my shift at Starbucks, it's not so bad. Nobody's trying to eat your face, and that's kind of the psychological concept that a lot of horror and stuff also kind of hinges on. It's that relief from, waking up from a nightmare. But you come to this issue where that's only great if your existence isn't a record-breaking dumpster fire. And the world we're starting to live in, getting worse and worse. And I think a lot of us, myself included, we're getting older. We've lived through some shit. I don't necessarily need Neil to tell me how terrible and unfair and nihilistic the world is, because I fucking lived in it. So I can say that I don't think I'm going to be able to go back to that kind of thing. That nihilistic, grimdark setting gets less and less appealing to me every year, especially post-pandemic. And I'd hesitate to say a lot of people are kind of going that direction. But I think that's why a lot of people grow out of these types of stories. It's edgy when you're a teenager.
That's exactly the thing. That's exactly the thing about the Death Stranding deal. Like, do I really want to? I mean, granted, Death Stranding, as bleak as that world is, it's still. I think I almost feel like I don't want to go back to that. Right?
Yeah, I was surprised that the show became such a hit.
Yeah, I'll say this though about Death Stranding. Yes, it is bleak and depressing, but there's still some hope there. At the end of the day, you still have good people trying to make the world better. You don't get that with The Last of Us. Everybody's terrible,
like you're there.
know?
Yeah, there is a focus of trying to make things better, as opposed to we're just reacting to the horrors of our world.
Yeah,
we're just trying to live.
Yeah, say what you will about, Mr. Sam Porter Bridges. He is still at his core a good person trying to do the good. And that's what you want. At least that's what I want in my nerves. And Brett, everything you said, man, I'm with you 100%, man. Like the older I get, the less I want to get into this bleak shit. Like life is fucking terrible, man. It is bad. It's like I'm going to subject myself to that shit, And again, and just going about it like all around, it's like, okay, like video games are generally bad now, movies are generally bad, comics are bad, TV shows are bad, everything's fucking bad. So why am I going to subject myself?
Manga though?
Yeah, I'm not even worried about that. This is also why I'm just trying to get into older stuff because that's when before 2015 things were at least media was a little bit better. Now after that, it just got fucking stupid. But you're right. You live in this horrible, fucked up world. Life sucks. Why would you want to subject yourself to even a worse thing? It's like, no, I want something uplifting.
I feel like though, but I feel like in general, you have to balance it out as well. Like in other words, okay, yeah, you have you can't watch all Stanley Kubrick movies all the damn time, right?
Exactly,
you gotta as dark and bleak as most of his films tend to be. You have to at least level it out by watching something else, and I feel like a lot of the line seems to be going down the dark road, whereas again, like a game like Hi-Fi Rush just decided to go the opposite fucking direction. Just said, no, we did a game about death, we did about a game that's like a survival horror game. Let's go the opposite direction. Let's do something like a Beautiful Joe.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to bring that up, Manny, because like one of the defining things about this kind of narrative grimdark setting to kind of keep beating a dead horse is, as Tony pointed out, hope, right? Like hope is a key difference between a cynical story and a nihilistic story, right? Is the idea that there are no heroes, you can't save the world, all you can do is scrape by.
Which I think that is precisely the reason why they can't make a sequel to The Last of Us. Because it would just be more of the same. You can't win. Yeah. There is no resolution. Just like in the last game, there was no real resolution either.
In case for the chat, so they know we're not tolerant of bleak games. Mind you, we voted for Elden Ring. Most of us for our Game of the Year last year.
But there's still hope in that shit too,
Well,
that shit was bleak as hell. I don't know.
Actually,
I don't know what you game played.
Not The Last of Us bleak though.
All endings of Elden Ring, they're all different kinds of fucked up. Like even the thing that you're trying to go for in the end of the Elden Ring may not be the right answer, and I think that's the one difference between them. It's like there is a resolution to Elden Ring, but it may not be the right answer at all.
Well, either I don't necessarily think
not good or bad.
But they're your answer. That's the difference.
Yeah, it's agency. That's weirdly enough, there's this phenomenon, and anybody who's interested, I really recommend you kind of look into it. There's a whole bunch of people who feel like Souls games have really helped them with their mental illness. A lot of them are suicidal, and it's kind of weird to see a game inspire hope by being so overbearing, but it really does kind of make that little sliver of hope kind of shine through in the sense that like
it's the power of overcoming a challenge.
I was just about to say that makes, to me, it's not weird at all. It makes perfect sense because those games, you need to persevere in order to move on. And if you're a person that's like maybe thinking those type of thoughts, you could be like, hey, I persevered in this game. Maybe I could persevere in life too. It makes perfect sense to me. And again, that's hopeful.
You continuously push forward. Despite you falling, and you get back up and you take it on again. You keep going at it. I feel like,
Oh, sorry. I just read Fergus like still hope on Last of Us. Ellie's still alive and immune. Just need some new doctors.
Whatever. Yeah. There's a good chance that you probably can't even. Ellie is actually not immune. She's just something else.
That was my beef with the original game. Is they're like, these are the only people who could test her, and they need to test her right now with this method that is definitely going to be lethal and may or may not work. Like, you can't. What is the fucking rush?
Y'all can't we need the chopper open now.
Yeah, this is some super scientist approach to fucking science here, man.
And it makes no sense because they know how she got this immunity. The whole thing of being in the womb and coming out, and she was bit. So then just do it to someone else. Grab someone you don't like who's pregnant, and then have her get bit, and then do a C-section, and there you go. And see if you can take that baby and do something.
The other thing is that, like, if you think about it, she is not immune because it's stopping it from going into her brain. So theoretically, she should be able to bite people and make them into.
Yeah, but that didn't happen. We know that.
That doesn't happen.
Technically, yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she's not cured.
No,
she's not.
Not.
She's
That's the Last of Us 3 that I want to see. The slow and grueling transformation of Ellie from like the hungry itchy angle.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
And that'll be extra bleak, and they'll be like, "Why?
Why? Better why?" All right, let's move on. I don't want to talk about Naughty Dog anymore. I want to move on to the next one so we could dunk on Nintendo, which is one of my favorite things. It brings me joy, you know. All right, so our Mr. Doug Bowser, he explained why Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is worth $70. So I'm going to read his statement and then we go on from there. He goes, we look at what the game has to offer. I think fans will find this an incredibly full, deeply immersive experience. The price point reflects the type of experience that fans can expect when it comes to playing this particular game. It's actually a fairly common price model here or in Europe or other parts of the world where pricing may depend on the game itself. So you're basically saying the quality of the game, the experience.
It's a lie. That's a lie.
So that is a bunch of fucking bullshit, you know?
So then why isn't it more? So it's only worth $70?
There's only worth something. Why not $100, bro?
Exactly, you know? Exactly. You're saying it's not worth $100? Damn, it's garbage. Then. Shit.
Yeah, that's stupid. We're paying $70 for a Switch game that looks like fucking shit. You know, really, $70? At least you could. I still think it's stupid to be charging $70 just for upgraded graphics, but at least that's something tangible. You're not playing this on an upgraded system or anything. It's still the same piece of shit we got in 2017. You know, so it's like don't miss me with that bullshit. And did you see that trailer? I think it was choppy as fuck. That's the trailer showing off the game to compel you to buy this thing, and it looked and ran like shit. You know?
Don't you know they're releasing another Switch? You know, at the same time, and it'll run better on that one. Yeah. That's how the Zelda games work, right? You know, every single generation, you know, they release them.
I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, Brett, go on, man.
So like they're now pricing games based on their value and how much effort should they put into them. So I'm going to assume that this latest Pokemon is now $12.50 and a ham sandwich.
Right? Yeah, that's how we're gonna go by now, right? Oh, the quality of the game. That's what we're just $70.
You should have said because fucking Sony decided to raise up the price. Now everyone's buying their games, so we're gonna raise up our prices.
Yeah, just be honest.
I said this shit was gonna happen. I said it was gonna happen.
Well, yeah, we knew it, but yeah,
it was gonna happen regardless. But Sony was the only one that had the balls to stick to it.
Yeah.
Oh, and EA.
There was one.
EA was probably wishy-washy on it, you know.
Was Ubisoft the one that backed out initially? Right.
That's right. Yeah.
One of those companies. Yeah.
But in this case, it's ridiculous. Like, there's nothing to pay $70 for other than, hey, Sony's doing it. We want to do it too. At least just be honest about it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Won't mention Sony.
They're not going to do it. Nintendo. You know how much they hate Sony.
They're not going to.
Well, if I was Doug Bowser, I would have been like, well, you know, the competition, they decided to raise up the prices, so you blame them.
It's their fault. It's their fault it took us so long to make this upgrade / sequel to Zelda.
Man, I just want to say, I was all set to raise my prices this year. Right? I was going to go up to $175 an hour, and then all the shit hit the fan, and I didn't. And the reason I didn't is because everybody's hurting right now, and I don't want to alienate or outprice any of my clientele. These
companies, the sad thing about all this is they're still trying to catch all that money that they got during the pandemic. And they didn't think that after all of this shit, nobody's going to be wanting to pay. They want to pay the same fucking prices for shit that they initially were paying back then. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, also, like, and I've talked about this before, but, like, as much as I want to play Diablo, right, like, this shit is getting out of hand. Even like, Diablo isn't as bad as Immortal. It should, by all theory, like, be fully functional. You don't need the battle pass to go with it. But, like, now you can buy different tiers that give you extra unlocks on the battle pass, but not the battle pass itself. But when you buy the battle pass, there's 3 different tiers of battle pass that you can buy. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
I would have no problem paying more for games if we could stop doing this shit. But they're already wringing their blood out, man. They're already getting their fucking money.
But yeah,
I blame Adam for this.
Yeah, I mean, because here's the problem, and I actually saw somebody actually point this out. I don't know why it didn't fucking occur to me. Like, yes, costs have gone up, especially let's say over the last 10 years, right? But the average earning potential of most of your consumer base hasn't really gone up, right? Like, wages have not increased with inflation. In fact, you're seeing less disposable income percentage-wise than you have in a long time. I think it was.
That's why people are canceling their Netflix and Amazon.
Well, and that's kind of my point. Like, yeah, sure, you can sit there all day and be like, I'd like more money. I'm spending more. Like, I'm spending more money on gloves. I'm spending more money on inks and things like that. But like, you have to realize that you're raising the floor on people who don't necessarily have a lot of money to begin with. And you're just squeezing more and more out of them, and you wonder why people are getting pissed off. And so this kind of, I guess, concession that we've come to is that they go, okay, well, how about I just slice a little of the game off instead and give you a little less, which fucking not good for anybody. Like it. So I don't know. I'm living in a grimdark universe over here, man. Like, can we either start paying more for games and not having limited experience, or not pay more for games and then just buy the shit that we want because like even that's not a completely dystopian reality, right? Like I used to play Warcraft. I paid $15 a month, right? As long as you keep the shit cool, I have no problem continuing to give you some money as I continue to play. What's that?
And that's in 2004. $15 a month was a lot back then.
And that's what I'm saying. Like if I'm continuing to get enjoyment out of the game, then I'll keep paying for it. And I think that's a fair incentive. Like, you keep making content, I'll keep paying for it. Win-win, right? But the problem with that is then the onus becomes, well, the game has to be good. You have to want to keep playing it. So we can make a good game, or we can install gambling practices.
Yo, bro, you know what broke me with that shit? Because I used to, I was with you, man. I played WoW when it came out, had fun, and then paying $15 a month, and then Burning Crusade came out, and I'm like, okay, great. Oh, you wait, you want me to pay for this? I'm already paying $15 a month.
Yeah, and when I went, it was like $50.
Yeah, it was like a full game price. So
yeah, at first they were like, hey, but you get a free month of WoW with it, and you're like, I mean, I guess that helps a little bit. And then they're like, nah, it's just you don't get anything free with it. Just buy the thing.
Yeah, that I mean.
And they didn't even improve the graphics.
They didn't improve the graphics either, but you can get. Oh no, that wasn't Flying Mounts. That was I don't remember what Burning Crusade did, but yeah, that some bullshit, man.
Yeah. All right. Speaking about more bullshit, so our Uncle Phil said that most people don't care about 60 frames a second. When did he say this though? The Xbox One.
When he realized that Call of Duty's games are 60 frames per second.
Oh shit!
And he's telling the FTC
he realized it when since the Series S is doing so well, and that thing can barely run things at 60 frames per second.
Yeah,
there you go. That's why. That's where
disagree?
you got the numbers from.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is my fault. Because I saw this in the chat. I'm like, oh, that's a good story. It's actually from a while ago. I don't remember him saying this. Sorry, people. Disregard that story.
Not new news.
Not new news. Womp, womp. All right, so we'll move on to the last thing here. This is new. This is brand new.
This is something we've talked about before, though.
Yeah.
Because
we've been around forever.
No, only not for that, but only because of all these games that's what they give us. Oh, 60 FPS, or do you want performance?
Yeah.
You can't have both. It's like,
well, now it's
so
like
maybe
30 frames and ray tracing. That's what you
get. It's bullshit.
Yeah. But this one is brand new news. Stadia is officially dead. So basically, you know how they said, oh, we don't have the system anymore, but we're still going to offer our services to partners. They're not even doing that anymore.
Yeah, because it was a piece of garbage and nobody gave a shit about it. I'm sorry. They went about it the wrong way, and they hired the wrong guy to head that shit too.
Yeah. Phil Harrison,
fucking guy is poison.
Yeah.
I mean,
where the fuck is this guy going to fail up to next one? He's going to show up at Disney next? He works at Marvel?
Oh God,
Yeah.
No.
Nobody should have believed that shit to begin with, though. Like, the translation of that is, we failed, but please nobody panic until I've gotten my golden parachute.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Let me sell
what
my
it was.
stock before everybody gives up.
No, that's exactly it. Because they didn't want it. They weren't ready to close the doors yet. They wanted to catch as much money out of that shit as possible. So they gave you this little bit of hope, and then they pulled the fucking rug when they already got out of it. Piece of shit. A waste of fucking time that thing was.
It really.
Don't worry, bag holders. We're totally not going to pull the rug out under you.
And the problem is that they're and as I remember, people were saying that what they had working was legitimately working well. They just went about it the wrong fucking way. Like, they launched before they had anything on there. Are you telling me you're gonna get excited over playing fucking Doom, which is on everything, and it runs probably better than it does on that thing? Because what was that thing only doing? 1080, right? Wasn't even doing 4K.
And then it's like you're buying $60 streaming games. That's stupid.
Exactly. So it's like, not only are you paying for the stupid service, but you're paying $60 for a digital game. So what happens to those digital games after the company goes belly up? Google.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to stay in the cloud, is it? Are all the people that have this shit, are they going to be able to go access their games? No, they're fucking not. It's just, as soon as you turn the lights off, that's it. Nobody's going to have shit.
Yeah. So yeah, because by the way, Google still claims that they're gonna stay in the games industry. With what?
Listen, if anything, what they're gonna do is they're gonna toss a couple of shitty like mobile like games on their platform, and that's them staying in the game industry. But let's find out what happened to Mr. What's his face after all of this. He ain't gonna be there. He's gone.
Yeah. I do want to know where Phil Harrison's going to go after this. The Grim Reaper of games, man.
Look, just so happened to be at like four of the most failing moments for two of the main console holders, and then he also killed a video game company.
Yep.
Which was Atari.
Stadia?
The revival.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh, yeah.
And then he comes back with another console with quotes.
Bob Pitts goes, the KFC console lasted longer.
I mean, to be honest, it's not really a console, it's just a PC, but still, it is lasting longer than the freaking Stadia.
Yeah, where's that Soldier Boy console,
Soldier Boy's disappeared into the ether. I don't know where the hell that dude is.
That console's still out. He's still making them. He's still out doing
Isn't that
them.
shit just basically an emulator?
Yeah, that's all it is. They slapped his name on it.
Yeah, Beats by Dre sell well too.
Doesn't Apple own that shit now? Beats by Dre?
Yeah, they own it. So they did sell well. They sold out to Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, Dre sold out? Shock.
Yeah, Dre needed his money.
It's the DRE. All right, yeah, he sold out. But hey, listen, man, can't blame him. Make your money, All right, we're done. Good show. Do we have anything to plug?
Nothing, but the next shows you might see my environment change.
Excuse me? Ah, yes. We'll talk about that when that happens, if that happens. Adam, you guys are done with the walk up with The Last of Us, right?
Walking of Us.
Yeah, Walking of Us. It's the same.
The Clicking
show.
Dead.
It's the same fucking show. Okay, since Adam doesn't want to talk, Carlos.
I did talk.
You didn't say nothing. You were muted.
Didn't hear you, boy.
Oh, I guess I got muted. Yeah. So no, nothing. That's it. It's done. So we'll be back whenever The Walking Dead. They keep pushing those dates back. So.
Okay. One thing I want to know: what is now that you've all seen the show, what do you think of the translation between the game and the TV series? What did you think that they
follow? It's a lifetime special. This is what they were going for. It's a drama. They had no intentions of putting creatures or anything. They sprinkled that in as if it was less than background noise. And now it's it. It was all focusing just on the story. And the story, as we know, the first one was very good. So that's fine if that's all you want. And the people that didn't play the game, they got everything they expected, a good story from an HBO show. But for those who wanted to see more of the action, that's not existent in this.
Wait,
Story.
they took the zombies out of the zombie show?
Yeah.
They pretty much cut all the gameplay out of the out of the
They
show.
gave you the cutscenes.
They gave you the cutscenes.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what would you say overall, though, Adam?
It was an 8.5 overall. It's entertaining. It's great storytelling. It was still fun to watch. It didn't feel half-assed. It just felt rushed, especially the last episode. The last episode felt like you blinked and you missed it. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck happened? Is it over? Yeah, it's over. But from everything that I remember, it's like, yeah, forget everything you remember. That didn't happen here. That's going to be in the Blu-ray. It's like, oh, okay, thank you. So no, it felt wrong.
Its biggest issue was it needed an extra episode, and they skimped out on the action.
They needed to send Perro back to Disney. Perro.
They got perros. Yeah, they skimped out on the action a little bit. And they could have used another episode just to flesh out things more. But I'm with Adam. It's like an 8-ish type show because they did a really good job. It's a super faithful adaptation, except for just a couple of things. But and Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey were incredible. I thought they were the best part of the show. They were great as Joel and Ellie.
Yeah, were you guys the only ones that saw the full season on the show? I'm guessing on Throwdown.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't think Brian did.
Yeah, Brian obviously didn't. I saw the first episode. I went to a screening. I'm like, hey, that's a really faithful adaptation. I'm good. I don't need to see the rest. You know? And it seems like it's a good thing I didn't, because if they just skimped out on the action, that's disappointing. It's like, at least give us that, you know? But then again, you know, I've seen some of the discourse, some of the I'm going to call them what I think they are. The filler episodes. I'm like,
it's the action. There was action. It's just it didn't have the clicker interaction. They did a lot of. There was a lot of killing. I mean, Joel did a lot of his murders.
Yeah,
but it was the clickers. It was
they didn't have any
horror
of the
elements
where you're like stalking around, making sure they don't.
No. The horror elements were gone.
That's
unless you consider. I mean, there's some scenes with Ellie. Remember with the David situation, a lot of people that stalking that could be horror, you know, with cannibals and stuff. But,
yeah, I should have clarified it. Clicker action, infected action, bloater action, that kind of action was missing.
You saw the bloater that once in episode 5, and then that was,
and he was fucking beast.
Yeah. And you saw all of it. You were like, oh man, they all rushed this community. Wait till we see them rush the other areas. And no. The tunnel scene when they're trying to get to the main location of Firefly, that's cut out.
Yeah,
a lot of that stuff. They did the whole shooting scene as a montage for Joel, just going in there Rambo style. You know, you might as well just have the platoon music playing in the background. Dun, 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 dun. You know, it's in slow mo. He's killing a dude. He's picking up his gun. He's emptying a clip in another dude's face and stuff. It's like, okay, but what about the build up to this? That wasn't there.
You guys definitely making me not want to see this shit. I mean, I was going to do it anyway, but you know, I think that solidifies it. You know, it's like with the money.
It's already been solidified.
With the money HBO had, they could have some dope. Because you could at least go, yo, Tony, the clicker action's crazy. You got to see this. I could at least jump into that, you know. But it's like, if we don't even get that, what's the point of this shit, you know? So, yes, it's, again, I'm not trying to watch another Walking Dead. Ooh, the humans are the real monsters. Like, okay, yeah, I get it, you know? Come on now, man. It just sucks now. So fucking, again, this, I'm not going to get into it. Things suck. It's bad, you know? Anyway, we're out of here, man. So make sure, Throwdown doesn't suck, though. We're the shit. At least you got us. Anyway, make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Join the Discord where the conversations and mob hits is always dropping the rumors, you know. You can find us on any podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show. That's towards Throwdown Show, throwdownshow.com to listen to previous episodes. And if you're watching us on YouTube and enjoyed the content, make Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Brett Murdoch.
Peace.
And Brian Manjoma.
So I think that makes 5 now in total. So I think it's fair to say something's going on out there.
Uh-oh. I guess we got to talk about this after the show. All right, people. We'll see you on Sunday. Later.
Laters.